All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Two Old Farts podcast. My name is Chuck.
And I'm Lou. I'm the better looking of the two old farts.
And I ain't even going to fight you.
It ain't going to do no good. I got somebody who said that yesterday to me when I was talking to them.
What'd they say?
They liked me. They thought I was the better looking, even though they hadn't seen me.
And who were you talking to?
I was over at, got some barbecue and the other day and at Smoky Mo's. And it was one of the ladies there I see pretty frequently and talk to them and stuff like that. Good place to go. I like their barbecue.
Does she listen to the podcast, though?
She said she did. So she laughed a little bit about it. And she said, we're crazy. So that's at least
I don't know if we're crazy, but we're definitely kind of goofy, I guess, or nerdy or dorks or whatever you want to call us.
That's right. We'll get there. Well, did you look up see how many downloads we had from last week or anything?
Okay. Since August 13th, in the last 7 days we've had 5.
Okay.
In the last 30 days we've had 42. So we're up 15% over the last 2 weeks.
That was pretty good from the last time, so we got to make it more this week.
And we're at 2,804 all-time downloads, so we're coming up on 3,000, believe it or not. Which ain't bad for 2 years. I mean, we could be better. But our growth is really coming from overseas, Dad. So in the last month, or since the beginning of this month, I should say, we've had 23 from America, 4 from Canada.
All right.
Hey, way to go, Canada. 3 from Australia. 2 from Switzerland, and 1 from South Africa, Dad. Can you believe that?
That's hard. Making progress.
We've had downloads from North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Australia. You know, we're doing really good in that regard. We just have a small volume. Maybe if we were more regular in our podcasts, but people are listening. We've been as far north in America as Minnesota. We've gone coast to coast from California to New York, New Jersey, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. We've just about got the whole East Coast wound up. And then from Texas to Kansas, you know, and Minnesota, you know, from north to south, east to west, and just about all continents around the world.
All right. We're making some progress. We just have to keep after it and do it more frequently.
Yes, we do.
So what's that shirt you got on?
This was a concert I went to last week.
Okay.
Last Friday. It was Clutch.
You went to a couple concerts, right?
Yeah, I did. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 Fridays ago. Let me see. Let me look at my calendar. So I saw Clutch on the 18th. Yep. Then the following week, this past week on Tuesday, Brendan and I saw Counting Crows with oh my God, I can't think of their name. Counting Crows. It'll come to me. This week coming up on Wednesday, I'm going to see that Mongolian metal band, The Who, with Asking Alexandra.
Yeah, they're not too bad.
Did you listen to them?
I did. They're okay.
They're okay. And this weekend, it's jam-packed, Dad. Friday night, I got Guar. I got a meet and greet with them. Crowbot, 200 stab wounds. Then Saturday, you, me, Brenda, Mom, we're going to go see Pam Tillis.
Yeah. That should be a pretty good show.
I think so, too. And then Brenda got notified last week. She won the raffle, and she got 2 tickets to see Robert Earl Keen's birthday bash at Flores Country Store on Labor Day on Monday.
Oh, wow. How nice. That is pretty neat.
So I got a concert Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday coming up.
All right. That's awesome. I'm excited for her.
I'm excited because I get to go.
I tell you, those are two great venues, the Roundup and Flores Country Store. And
I know you love it.
I do. I'm torn between the two, which one I like the most. I like the layout of the Roundup. I mean, it's a little newer. I just like the layout. I like where the tables are. It's like away from you can see the bands and stuff like this.
And you're closer.
But Flores is something else, too. I mean, it's just something special when you go to Flores. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of history there, and hopefully a lot of history can be made with the Roundup. You know, if they get the right up-and-coming acts to come, they're definitely getting a lot of the 90s country music acts to come back through there.
They have Shenandoah coming up here in the end of September as well.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good group, too. Yeah, so they're starting to book some name, people and stuff like that. And I guess it's really knowing what your market is and who to market to and those kind of things. So,
yeah. Mario Flores in the Soda Creek Band, he is a part owner or co-owner of the Roundup. And it's really great to see him and his band playing there because, I mean, they're just awesome. He loves that 90s country music. He can sing just about anything. He and his band are great performers and entertainers. And like you said, it's just a great little venue. To me, I'd give a slight edge to the Roundup just because they sell more than just Budweiser product beer.
Well, I was going to say that my only, I don't want to say down thing, but my only wish was that they need to expand their beer menu just a little bit. They're tied in just to one brand, and that's not what Texas is all about.
No, sir. Yeah, Shiner Bock beer.
I'm gonna tell you, and I love Yingling and I love Shiner Bock. So I've been drinking the Oktoberfest from both of those brands, Shiner and from Yingling. And well, I'm gonna tell you, I can't decide which one I like the best.
You know what? You don't have to. You can like them both.
You're right. So when I go to HEB, I just buy a 6-pack of each one and put it in the refrigerator outside, in the garage. And every now and then, I'll just sit here in the room and watch TV. Right now, I've been watching some high school football and the Little League World Series. And, it's just
I heard Texas just got their ticket punched to go.
Do I?
I heard Texas just got their ticket punched. They're going to the Little League World Series.
They're out. The championship game. The championship game is today, and they end up. They were playing the losers, which was Chinese Taipei. Boy, and they got their butts kicked today. They lost 10-0 in 4 innings. Chinese Taipei, but this afternoon, California and Curacao plays for the championship at 2 Central Time. That should be a good game.
California beat Texas.
Yep, California beat Texas. They have 3 boys.
Hippies.
They have three players on that team. These are 12-year-olds. I'm sure they're probably close to 13 now. 2 of them are 6 foot. 1 of them is 6'1".
Holy smokes, man! Somebody check their birth certificate.
Well, they have to. As long as you're 12 when the season begins, that's all that counts. But they got a good ball club. So it's going to be fun to watch Curacao, and because Curacao made it to the playoffs last year.
They did.
Yep.
Nice.
And so anyway, it's fun to watch, and Texas did good. I was real proud of them. They're from Needville, which is up about 40 miles from Houston.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
And they won it last year, so they finished 4th. So, but it's fun to watch those kids. And I'm gonna tell you, they have some talent. A lot of those kids have some talent. And and it's surprising quite a few go on to play professional sports. So it's a good opportunity for them and for their communities, and and it's nice to see that how many people that will travel to go see those, and support them and stuff like that. So that's real good.
And you mentioned other sports, not just baseball, that these kids grow up and go into play, and that brings to mind the awesome quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, who grew up a baseball player. His dad was a baseball player.
Yep.
And at the last minute in high school, I think he switched over to football as well as baseball. And I think this is what makes the great athletes just that much better, is when they play more than just one sport.
Absolutely. And it's like watching these kids in the league. The majority of them play other sports: soccer, football, baseball, basketball. Sports is good. Any activity is good for young adults when you keep them involved and teach them.
Yeah, the camaraderie, the teamwork, putting the others before yourself, the just great life lessons that you can learn from organized activities, and not just through sports. It could be dance, theater, all of those different things.
Absolutely. Scouting, it doesn't matter. As long as it's something that's organized and there's teamwork involved with it. Even tennis. Tennis is a one, but you know what? It's teamwork, because somebody has to help you. Somebody's got to teach you. Somebody's got to guide you along those things. So, and then when you're playing, yes, just it's you and one other playing against each other. Somebody had to get you there. Somebody had to help you get there. So. And sometimes there's a lot of humility that you can learn playing those games.
Yes, sir, there is.
Yeah.
Hey, we got some news, don't we? We teased it a little bit on the last episode. We've got some big news coming up, don't we?
Well,
what's the big surprise?
I think so. Where we're going?
I was going to ask you. You tell everybody where we're going.
I think we're going to Alabama. I think
we are going to Alabama.
Yes, sir. We're
going to Tuscaloosa. We're going to T-Town, Title Town.
You know what's fun about that trip? Not just to see the football game, but to stay in the hotel there on campus.
What's the name of that hotel?
Huh? The Capstone.
What's the name of that hotel? That Capstone Hotel, right on the University of Alabama grounds.
Yeah, right across from the basketball
stadium arena.
Arena, yeah. And I understand they get ready to build a new one too. That's in the works. So, but then we get out and we go downtown and we have a couple of beers and just like the last time watching all the people, and it's fun to see them. And for the most part, everybody's behaved pretty damn good. But I remember those two fathers. I think it was two fathers last time. Was keeping track of their kids and stuff like that. So, but
that was a good little walk we took from the hotel past Bryant-Denny Stadium and then right off the campus into where all the bars and the clubs are, where the kids were. I mean, that was a good little walk. And then up and down Sorority and Fraternity Row, right across the street from the stadium.
Oh yeah, it was fun. We're the only two old farts out there, except for those two fathers.
At that club, yeah.
Everybody. So when you look at those...
We're just out there enjoying the college life.
Yeah, when you get out there and you see those kids, you see what your youngest daughter is doing, right?
Oh, don't remind me. Speaking of my youngest daughter, she just texted us and called us Friday.
She
got COVID again.
Oh, wow.
She's sick with COVID. Her roommate tested on Thursday, and she wasn't feeling too hot. And then Friday, she was able to get a test, and she's got COVID.
Oh, that's not good. Dan Butler, you remember Dan Butler, our treasurer at the DAP? He came down with COVID. He missed it.
Wow.
last Saturday when we had our meeting, he missed that meeting, and it's going around. We just got to be careful what we do and watch what we do.
And speaking of missing meetings, I must have missed that email where they shut down 1604 from Stone Oak all the way to Northwest Military. I mean, it was shut down. Everybody had to get off the highway and take the access roads on the side. It would have taken more than an hour just to get through all those lights and all those cars last Saturday.
They're not very clear on some of those things. I went back and looked at that thing too, and it just said Friday afternoon to Monday morning, but it was in very small caps at the very bottom of that, of the email that I saw. And that was the concern that I had. When we went to Shauna last week, I was telling you I was concerned, and I couldn't see anything, so we took a chance, and it turned out good for us. They didn't close it down, but
well, yeah, because we were going on the other side of all of that.
Yeah, because that's but for me to your house, that's a mess.
It is.
Yeah.
So
that's why Saturday night we'll meet you out there.
Yep, you control your own destiny.
Yeah, it'd be easier for me.
So we're going.
It's a nice trip. That's a nice trip going out there, through the country and stuff like that. So, it's for me. I enjoy it. It's not a lot of traffic, and the roads are winding and stuff like that. So you got to be a little bit more careful. But there's a lot of scenery to see out there. Those kind of things. Vernon is a nice area to visit.
So our trip to Tuscaloosa is in November. It's one of the last games of the year.
Yeah, next to we play Auburn the following week.
Yes, sir, we do. So we're playing the Chattanooga Moccasins.
Yep.
We got 50-yard line tickets, except we're not on the Alabama side. We're on the other side.
Oh, that'll make it fun.
It's going to be nothing but Alabama fans anyway.
Yeah.
But we're in section GG, row 1.
Did you listen to game day yesterday?
I did.
Yeah, I was surprised that Herb Street and what's his name?
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, Pat. He's funny. I like to watch him. I'm glad they added him to the broadcast. But they both picked Alabama to win the national championship this year.
They did.
Personally, I think that's bad news.
As long as it ain't Coach Corso making that call, it's usually pretty good.
Just don't let them boys drink the Kool-Aid. They'll be all right.
It's just statistically, Alabama doesn't go more than 2 years of down years like that. But the biggest thing is just not knowing what we have at quarterback or wide receiver or even running back. You know what I'm saying? I've heard the running backs we've got are better than we've had in the last 2 years, but we don't know what we got at quarterback. And frankly, we just haven't had elite wide receivers that can get separation and speed, since Waddle, Ridley, Devontae, all those guys. Yeah, we just haven't had that stable of talent in a while.
I tell you what, I'm not worried about quarterback because we have 3 that if they were on any other team, they'd be starters. And I think the competition between those 3 is going to make them all better. And I'll tell you the one I'm looking forward to, the surprise everybody, is that transfer from Notre Dame, the Buchner.
Tyler Buchner, I think.
Yeah.
Or is it Bruckner?
Yeah. I think people may be surprised. Everything I read about him and stuff like that, I think the changes we made in the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators are going to be good for us. I don't think there's going to be a drop-off. In fact, I think they'll increase things.
I hope so. Tyler Buckner's his name.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch.
And on top, it is. But on top of all of that, we have untested, within Alabama standards, offensive and defensive coordinators this year as well.
Yep. And I tell you, when we play Texas on the 9th, that's going to be the game to watch. And that game is going to determine our future. How we do against them and how we respond. Because I think Texas is going to be loaded this year. I think Texas is going to surprise a lot of folks.
Oh, I think so too.
And I think that game's going to be the one that really sets us up to how we're going to do for the rest of the season. I think the adversity they're going to face is going to it's going to tell us what those players are made of.
And we haven't heard anything about their quarterback situation. We haven't heard anything about Arch Manning. Nothing.
Nope.
Not one peep in the media about Arch Manning.
Well, that's not surprising. Where did he come from?
He came from the Mannings.
And you don't hear Saban talking about a lot of stuff either, do you? He keeps it to himself. So I think that's a good thing.
And what he says is very strategic as well.
Yeah. But I think that's a good thing about him coming from Alabama. It really helped him to get his career coaching back online, I think, and stabilized a little bit because he had some ups and downs a few years there and stuff like that. And sometimes when you're around the right mentor, it's not about the win and losses. It's the mentorship that you learn from that person and how you handle the life things.
The culture, the discipline, because he's rehabilitated more than one coach.
Yep.
And Lane Kiffin is definitely one that is singing his praises about, how much Saban means to him and how much of a chance he took on him.
And that's a great example. Look at Lane Kiffin, how he handles himself now compared before he went to Alabama. He was just running off at the mouth all the time and talking trash, stuff like that. Yeah, he's still a little excited. He'll still put a little bit out there and something, But he's got those boys winning. He doesn't go out on a limb and make predictions and say things he can't deliver on. I think his recruiting. I think Mississippi State's going to be good again this year. I think they'll get turned around.
I think Florida's going to get turned around with Dan Mullen.
I do too. With who?
Dan Mullen.
Now Mullen's not the coach at Florida.
Shit, that's right. They got rid of him, didn't they?
The guy from Louisiana went to.
That's right. It was Louisiana Monroe, wasn't it?
Yeah. This could be a second year at Florida. I think they'll be good too.
Billy Napier. God dang it! What?
Alabama boy.
Why was I thinking Dan? You know why I was thinking Dan Mullen? I just got done watching that show on Netflix. What was it called? Swamp Boys?
Uh-huh.
It was about the Florida Gators when Urban Meyer was coaching during that 5-year run or whatever, and Tebow and all that. That's why I was thinking of Dan Mullen.
Yeah. But
you need to watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, I forgot where he went. He's an assistant head coach. I forgot now which school he went to.
It says he's a current analyst on ESPN.
Okay. But it's going to be good. Boy, in Notre Dame yesterday, I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but this quarterback that transferred from North Carolina to Notre Dame,
Wake Forest. Wake Forest, yeah.
He's that surprised me. They jumped out big time yesterday.
Well, God, they're playing Navy, man.
Well,
I mean, come on. Sam Hartman, that's who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he played.
He played at North Carolina.
He played at Wake Forest.
Oh, Wake Forest? I thought it was North Carolina.
No, well, Wake Forest is in North Carolina.
Okay. But
yeah, he got a lot of good press last year. He's a really good quarterback, and
yeah,
for him to go to Notre Dame, I mean, it's like Alabama. He was in the transfer portal. Why didn't Alabama look at him? Why didn't any Florida or A&M? Why did they look at him? I don't know.
well, I think the reason Alabama didn't look at him, they already had some ideas. Milroe's going to start for us.
You think
no
so?
doubt in my mind.
I don't know, man. I think Tyler Buckner is definitely in the mix, man. Why else would this kid transfer from Notre Dame when he did right after the A-Day game? Why would that happen?
So
did he know Sam Hartman was coming into Notre Dame? Is that why he left? I don't know.
But it's going to be fun. But it's all about coaching and how you handle these kids. And speaking of that, what do you think about this transfer portal process?
Years ago, I think you and I were against that kind of stuff. But nowadays, I think it's a good thing for the kids, and especially since they don't have to sit out a year. Because I think the system was stacked against them in that regard.
I think it's also been good for the schools, too. Because now you're starting to see some colleges that are getting some players that probably wouldn't have. Because now they get a chance to go play and look at the guy that left Oklahoma and went to Caleb Williams. Is it Williams? That won the Heisman last year.
And then you had, what's his name? Spencer Rattler leave Oklahoma and went to South Carolina. And he kind of had a renaissance the last half of the year with South Carolina. It's like things started to click.
Yep. So I think it's been good all the way around. It's good for the schools and it's good for the kids. And the only thing that concerns me is all this conference jumping, all these schools. And, yesterday is the Big Ten. It's going to have like 18, or the Big 12. Big 12 will have 18 schools, and we're going to have 16.
And the Pac-12 is pretty much over unless they can find some teams to steal from the from the Mountain West.
Yeah. And some of the schools they're looking, talking about going, they're great schools, but I'm not sure that they're in the where they can compete with some of the other schools that are larger and that have greater recruiting opportunities.
But take into consideration now teams that were just like that are now in the national conversation. You hear Houston, they're in the Big 12 now. UCF, they're making noise.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The Big Cats, you know what I'm saying? These are teams that were just on par with San Diego State or San Jose State, and they have put their money into the facilities, into the coaching, and their programs have gotten better. They've scheduled good out of conference games against big-time teams, and they're making it work.
I'll tell you somebody else is getting in that group is UTSA. If we can keep his coach and keep the recruiting, we're playing Houston Saturday, and it's going to be on Fox Sports. Then the next 2 weeks, we're playing Texas State and Army, and they're both going to be on ESPN. And you got some other games down the road. And this is what, the third conference for them or fourth conference for them?
Yeah, now they're in the AAC, right?
Uh-huh. So, be interesting to see how they do, and I'm rooting for them this year. I've been watching some high school. This weekend I had a lot of high school games on, like from all over the country, traveling like Florida and California and stuff like that. There's some big boys.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Well, guess what? Look at the clock up there on the screen on the top right corner.
Yeah, we're getting we just hit that 30 minutes. So.
Yep, we just hit that 30 minutes, and we're hitting that natural pause in our conversation where we're looking for things to talk about, because this isn't a complete Alabama podcast, even though we do talk a fair amount about the team, but mostly sports and music, which are like big things for us, and then drinking beer and barbecue. So,
yeah,
and maybe that's why so many of the international audience comes to listen to us, to get a little slice or taste of America.
Yeah, and what 204 is all about, right?
Yeah, father and son having fun.
Yep. I've got a good book I've been reading. I always told you Bear Bryant was always my favorite coach. But he just moved down to number 2. Gene Stallings.
All right, who's number?
Gene Stallings has moved into number 1. I'm reading his book now. It's called Another Season, and it's talking about him and his son. He had 4 daughters and his son. His son had Down syndrome. And it talks about taking him through life and expecting to have a son to name him Gene Stallings and all that kind of stuff, and following his father's footsteps, and just didn't happen. Really a great book. It's an eye opener. It really talks about what kind of person he was and in my opinion, what made him such a great coach.
I know Bear Bryant loved the hell out of him.
And so much so that he helped him. Actually, Bear Bryant helped him get a couple jobs. He helped him get the job with the Cardinals. He helped him get the job at A&M. And he probably had some reason why he came back to Alabama. And when he got to Alabama, he was only there, 5 or 6 years? But he got us back. He got us back into the winning season. I'll never forget that Alabama-Miami game where we won the national championship. And see the picture of when he played Bear Bryant and I forgot that which bowl it was, Sugar Bowl, I think it was. And Bear Bryant picked him up because he beat him.
Gave him a big bear hug. Yep.
A big hug and stuff like that.
And that was after after Bear Bryant lost to Gene Stallings. He gave him that big bear hug.
Yep. So it's a good book. I would encourage people to read it. It's about life lessons and all those kind of things. But anyway.
It's been great talking to you guys this week. Hopefully next weekend, maybe next Saturday in between all of my concerts, we can get together and maybe record another episode. What do you think, Dad?
Sound like a wonder. Or at least Sunday morning, we can, after we see Pam Tillerson, compare that. And
all right. Let's try for Sunday morning.
See how she compares to her father.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one. Take care. You too.
Love you.
Love you too. All right. Bye, everybody.
Guys. Y'all have a good one.